It's a good morning to you. Welcome to Asake Online. My name is Zenzel Ndebele, and this is the Breakfast Club. Today in our program, we'll be at Mpilo Hospital, where Net1 and Tel1 we're donating protective clothing to Mpilo Hospital. It's quite encouraging that a lot of companies, individuals, NGOs, have actually come on board to try and support the health sector to make sure that we are really prepared for COVID. We know we still don't have so many cases, but we don't know when this situation is going to end and when we're going to have an explosion. And they're preparing the hospitals, they're preparing the facilities so that when that point comes, at least we are ready. We also took the opportunity to talk to Solwayo about the procedures, what needs to be done when someone is suspecting to be having coronavirus. We have talked to a number of private hospitals, doctors, and sometimes even the ambulance teams who actually, were worried that health officials, there are times when they actually, or most of the times, they actually run away from a patient. I actually talked to a doctor one of the days who told me that a patient was stuck at his private surgery for quite a while because each time he phoned all these health institutions, no one was willing to come and pick this patient. The patient had not even tested positive for corona, but it was just a procedure that they be cleared of corona because of the symptoms that they had. So there's a time when I feel that either the procedures are not clear on what needs to be done, or our health officials feel that, or the health workers, the frontline workers, feel like they're not prepared enough or they're not trained enough to deal with this situation. So it's quite disheartening, it's quite sad to hear stories, people saying that, I was taken from pillar to post, they told me to do this, they told me not to do this, and there is this hesitation by health officials, and I hope this will be cleared as soon as we go forward so that people can get help as fast as they can. But also, if the health officials are running away from patients, it means these patients, if they happen to be positive, they're likely to spread the disease to other people because they'll be forced to go home. So I really encourage our hospitals, our institutions, our doctors, our leaders in the health sector to make sure that the system is watertight. The system works. When people phone anytime, they are responded to. I think that is also high time we had a 24-hour rapid response team that will always be on standby. That means we need more resources, we need more people, we need more equipment to be used by these people, because we also expect them to work in conditions that are conducive. They have to be looking forward to go to work. So I also encourage the corporate sector and the government to put more resources to incentivize our health workers, because this is one of the difficult times to be a nurse, to be a doctor. You are at risk. At least you need to get something in return. So let's hear from Solwayo, Dr. Solwayo lapana ukuthi uthini nge-coronavirus. He has always given us, very interesting and very informative insights when it comes to issue the coronavirus.
Today we're here at Mpilo Hospital, and we were donating a wide range of PPEs. These range from sanitizers, masks, goggles, gloves, etc., etc. And we also launched borehole drilling here at the hospital, and we've also adopted a ward. As Net1 and Tel1, we've put together 10 million as to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Today we are here at Mpilo to bring a donation of PPE as part of our response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are aware that these institutions are under immense pressure with the advent of this pandemic, and we felt that as corporate citizens, it was part of our duty to assist their capacity in responding to this issue.
This morning we received some personal protective equipment from Tel1 and Net1, which is an extremely welcome measure. Personal protective equipment is very vital in the fight against COVID-19. And with the worldwide trend where there is an acute shortage of personal protective equipment, Tel1 and Net1 have done a tremendous job to help us get capacitated to face this terrible disease which is oncoming. There's been a huge demand for PPEs with all the countries. And in our case here, we also need foreign currency to import PPEs. As you are aware, we've always been struggling with forex. So PPEs are a big, big issue. But the government and the private sector, they are trying to help us with the protective equipment. There are other local manufacturers that are just coming in, the universities and so forth. But their capabilities of providing PPEs, for example, here at Impilo, we need at least 600 to 1,000 masks a day because we have got a huge hospital with a lot of staff members. So the consumption of just a mask on its own is a lot. So the local companies and universities will probably not be able to certify the whole, as we are aware now, everyone in Zimbabwe has to wear a face mask. So we are going to get some PPEs from outside the country. The coronavirus is a very highly infectious disease. And it's a new virus, that's why it's called novel virus. Nobody actually knows because it's a new thing. Apparently, it moved from animals to humans. So here, what has happened here internationally, most places they've trained people to be called rapid response team. The rapid response team is our trained cadres who will go with appropriate personal protective equipment to attend to people who are suspected to be having coronavirus. This team is one which goes to assess, take a history, and take samples to the lab. That's why it's called a rapid response. They are supposed to respond quite rapidly. Because if you leave someone with suspected coronavirus too long in our casualty department, for example, they potentially can infect members of staff and other people who are visiting the hospital. So we want this to be rapidly done.
So Impilo is its own local rapid
Yes.
response team.
Yes, Impilo is its own rapid. We have trained our own infection control nurses here. They've been trained from a national point of view. So the city health department also have their own rapid response team which goes to the communities. But they will be overwhelmed if we were to ask them to come here to Impilo all the time. So we have our own local team here. So we don't want you to travel and move where you are. You must stay where you are and phone the rapid response team from the city health. They are the ones who come and they attend to you. Because if you board or travel or come, you are going to be infecting people on the way. And you bring it here to Mpilo where they are people who are not infected by coronavirus, thereby infecting more people. So by staying at home, the rapid response team from the city will come and quarantine you at home, take necessary tests, and come and make repeated visits from your home. In that way, you are able to contain the virus to one place or one family. The Imperial Rapid Response Team is for patients who arrive here because people will not know that they have corona. They will arrive at our casualty department complaining, for example, of a cough or fever. So then our rapid response team will come and attend to them here. Once they have been found to be highly contagious or coronavirus, the Bulaya City Health Department will come and take them away to Thorn Grove. You understand? That's how the two teams work. The lockdown has been quite a success.
Okay.
The lockdown was successful in making sure that viral transmission almost remained zero and allowed the rapid response team from the city health to attend to those cases and mothball them and keep them in one place. So what we call ARA, a measurement of how the virus, ARA in Zimbabwe was kept almost 0 to 1. So that's why we don't have all these cases spiraling out. It's because the lockdown was very successful. But now with this relaxation of the lockdown, now from level 4 to level 2, probably the ARA, this transmission rate of virus will go up and you may see more viral coronavirus cases in Zimbabwe. It's a new virus. No one is got immunity to this virus. So all of us are at risk. The whole population is at risk of being infected. So if you are asymptomatic and you have the virus, you are most going to be the most dangerous person because you are going to move from place to place infecting other people.
So then you'll never know. If I don't test, I'll never.
Yes. So the ideal situation is to import more tests and test everyone at one place. Probably if you were to lock down the country, go around the house to house, test everyone before then you allow these asymptomatic people to be moving around infecting others. That's how you probably will contain the virus. Then the people who test positive, you take them and quarantine them somewhere. There is a test that they do from the throat or mouth swab, which they do PCR, and it shows that you have the virus. Then your body immune response will produce antibodies. That's what, when you test with the blood test, you show that this person once had the virus. But that, like now you hear people have recovered. Actually, there are reports that people who have had the virus have been infected again. It's a flu. It's just like a flu. Every winter, people get so many flu attacks. So it's the same with the virus. That's why people now thinking that the coronavirus may never go away. It's going to be here for some time. The children that are very young, less than 3 years or so, who are unable to put on masks, we don't encourage them to put masks because they may not feel that they are suffocating. They may actually die from the suffocation. So we don't want children to go. So children shouldn't be moving around. They should be staying at home. That's why you see schools are closed. Because the moment you open, children will not be able to wear masks. For a few minutes, they will throw away the mask. They will contaminate each other. So far, because this virus, nobody thought about it. The manufacturers are making masks for adults. I have not seen special masks for children. And the idea is that if you make a mask and children start choking and dying from it. So the idea is that children stay at home. They don't need to go out. Ideally, schools should not open when this is serious crisis as bad as the coronavirus. Because when you open schools, what you will do is you are going to have mass infections. And children will bring the infections home. And most vulnerable groups are at home, like the grandfathers and the whatever. People it starts killing more people very badly after 60 years, 70 years, and so forth. So you are literally going to ask children to go and take this virus from school, bring it home, wipe out all the grannies. So ideally, in this crisis, schools should not open. I mean, I know people complain. There are situations where people have stayed at home for years without going to school. If that's necessary to protect people, it has to be done that way. My advice now with this crisis, this coronavirus crisis, is that we are approaching winter. And very soon in June, July, we are going to get a lot of transmission. So, with our own setting here, our health sector probably will not cope with the huge numbers of coronavirus patients. So I will urge everyone strongly who do not need any reason to travel to sit down at home. That is the only way they will protect themselves from getting the virus. Especially the people who are not employed, who have no business, agent business to do. To sit down at home. They are probably assess the situation in August or September. Then they will know after the winter whether it is safe for them to travel. Because right now, if you get the coronavirus, there are two outcomes. It's either you fight the virus off and survive. If the virus defeats you, you will die. And you may die within weeks or days. So my clarion call is that people should sit down at home. Whether the lockdown has been relaxed from level whatever, if you do not have an urgent reason to travel, please sit down at home.
Ngiyethemba lizizwele bakithi ukuthi this is a new disease. It's novel. So most of the times kuzaba lama teething problems here and there, but also it's clear that when you suspect that you have coronavirus, stay at home and call the rapid response. But then we have people who are coming from rural areas or others who just go to the hospital because they don't suspect that they have the disease. I think this is where we need serious protocols in hospitals to say, can we screen people as they go in? But those who we suspect that they have the virus, can they be tested? So that then the nurses disappear and the next moment you spend 3 hours, 4 hours, because this is where people just walk out and go home. So I hope we will really, in most of these institutions, fix this problem where nurses and other health officials run away from people who are suspected to have COVID, or who they think they have COVID, even though they will not have been tested. My name is Ngwenya. Till we meet again in other programs, have a very wonderful day.